Future champs of the UFC. Starting out, I think the most obvious fighter is probably Islam Makhachev. I mean, he was just lightweight champion with like 5 title defenses, and he just moved up, and he's probably going to be fighting JDM. And I think JDM has a decent chance of winning, but I'm not sure if he can get it done against Islam. Islam is also widely considered the lightweight GOAT of the UFC because of his resume, his dominance. He's really well-rounded. He's really good. I mean, he's beat Dustin Poirier. He's beat Justin Gaethje. He's beat Charles Oliveira. He's beat a lot of good guys. He also coached under Khabib. Islam Makhachev is also a Sambo world champion. He is really good wrestling. He's from Dagestan, and he mixes in his wrestling with his striking very well. In order for Islam to become a double champion, he'll have to move up to welterweight, which he just did, and fight JDM. And I think if he wants to beat JDM, he'll have to probably try and take the fight to the ground, because I think if the fight stays standing, Islam has a chance of getting chinned or just losing in general, because JDM has a really good stand-up game. He has really good striking, great boxing, and I think Islam has great striking too, but I think JDM's is better, and I think Islam will have to try and take him to the ground, and if Islam can take him to the ground a few times and maybe even get off a submission, I think Islam will win the fight. Because we've seen before, JDM was held on the ground by Gilbert Burns, and obviously when he got up, he hit him with a knee, but I think if before that knee, Gilbert Burns was giving him a run for his money. He was fighting really well, holding him onto the ground. And I think that could be a problem if JDM gets put to the ground by Islam. Moving on to the next fighter that could be champion, I think, is Tattoo Taira. He's a really good fighter. I think he's really underrated too. He's 17-1 now. He was undefeated. He was like 16-0 before his close decision loss to Brandon Royval. I personally thought he was winning that until Brandon Royval won. But it was a good fight. It was a close fight. I think Tattoo Taira has what it takes to become champion. The only bad thing is the champion of his division is Pantoja, who is, the second best flyweight ever. A really good champion, 4 title defenses, and just beat Kai Kara France by submission. I think it's going to be a tough fight, but I think Tattoo Taira is pretty well-rounded. He just got better striking defense when he came back from his loss from Brandon Royval, where he fought, I don't know how to pronounce the dude's name, but he was undefeated until he just lost Tattoo Taira. He has great ground game, great submissions, really good fighter. And not to mention, he's also pretty young. He's 25, I believe, or 24, 25. And he's already 17-1. He's ranked 4 or 5 in flyweight at this age. So I think he's probably most likely going to become champion. And I think he can beat Joshua Vaughn as well. And not mention as well, he dropped the dude in the first round. I can't pronounce his name, I'm sorry, but he dropped him in the first round when they were fighting, and the guy was undefeated before that fight. Now, coming in next place, and you can call me delusional, but I think Alex Pereira will make a comeback. I think he will knock out Magomed Ankalaev in UFC, whatever, and I know he will win this match. He's hungry again. I know he'll win this. And actually, in their first match, Ankalaev is from Dagestan. He's known as a really good wrestler, and he shot for, I think, 12 takedowns and didn't land a single one on Alex Pereira. So I think Alex Pereira's takedown defense is definitely a lot better. It's definitely improved, and I think in the first fight, he just looked a little scared to throw. He looked like he was more worried about the takedowns than worried about striking, and I think that's what ultimately cost him the match. And I think in their next fight, he'll come back stronger. I think that he has a better game plan. He'll come back. He'll strike more. He won't be too scared. I think he might get taken down once or twice because of that, but I think he will get back up when he gets taken down. Now, coming in next, I think, is Arman Tsarukyan. Some people might not agree with me with this, but I think Arman Tsarukyan can beat Ilya. I think the only problem is his striking might not be as good as Taporea's, obviously. Ilya has great boxing, arguably the best in the UFC currently and one of the best all time. But I think that's probably one of the biggest problems. But, I mean, he also did have a close decision win in his last fight, which was I think UFC 300. It was a while ago. He's not the most active fighter, but a close decision win against Charles Oliveira, which a lot of people consider that a robbery. I watched the fight. I didn't really think that was a robbery. It was a close fight, but I don't know about a robbery. But why I think Arman is because it's going to be harder for Ilya because Arman is really well-rounded. Armin is, a good wrestler and a good striker, so I think Ilya can't just, rely on, like if there was a striker, he could submit him, or if it was a wrestler, he would, strike with them, because Ilya is also well-rounded, but I think that Armin is, he's, the perfect matchup for Ilya right now because of the well-roundedness, and he's just good everywhere. He's pretty durable. I mean, I don't really know if Armin would lose that. I could see him losing, but I also could see him winning. Now, another person I think that will be champion in the future is Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar's pretty good. I don't really like him. Personally, not a fan of him, but I have to admit that he is a good fighter. He did do decent against Merab. I think there's more so a cardio thing. The cardio kind of like was the reason that he lost, I believe. Because Merab's cardio is insane. No one can keep up with his pace for that long. And Merab just never gasses out. But I think if Umar works on that gas tank and, just some other things, I think he could be the champion. I'm not sure if he ever beats Merab. He could. I could see him beating Merab, but I'm not sure if he beats Merab soon. So I think Merab is also 34-ish, so Merab might retire in 2-3 years. So if he retires then, I think Umar is also only 27, so I think Umar would become champion probably around the time Merab retires, or if he, works hard and beats Merab, then I could see Umar becoming champion. I mean, we've seen Umar do good against people like Corey Sandhagen. We've seen him beat good people. So I think Umar, another Dagestani wrestler, I think he could become champion. Now, the next person I think that could become champion in the future is Fluffy Hernandez. He is something else, bro. I mean, in his last fight against a Georgian guy, his cardio was crazy. He had good takedowns, great striking. He's a really good fighter. I think he could become champion. Now, I'm not sure if he beats Hamzat. I'm not sure if anybody beats Hamzat, but Hamzat said he plans on becoming triple champion. He plans on moving down to 170, and he's done that. He plans on going up to light heavyweight and fighting for the belt. And I think when he vacates, I think Fluffy Hernandez is the man to be the champion in that division. I think he can beat Dricus. I think he can beat RDR. I think he can beat, Kyle Burallo or whatever. I think he can beat these people. I think he is the best 185er behind Hamza Chimaev right now. Not to mention, he also has, I think, the current longest active win streak in UFC middleweight as of today. He's on, I think, a 9-fight win streak after his win against the Georgian guy. I can't really pronounce his name, but he has the longest win streak.